Welcome back to James English. I'm Jayz.
And I'm Amy, about 33, May 3rd.
And today, breakfast.
What's for breakfast? A simple question, but the answer tells you an enormous amount about a person, about where they grew up, how they live, what they value, how rushed or unhurried their mornings are.
And breakfast culture in English-speaking countries is genuinely fascinating and genuinely different from what many of our listeners grew up with.
The British full English, the American pancake stack, the Australian avocado toast, which, yes, is a real thing and has its own cultural baggage.
Ha! We'll get to the avocado toast discourse, but first, the English of food habits, because talking about what you eat, why you eat it, and how your eating has changed is one of the most natural and universal topics in human conversation.
And it uses a very specific set of phrases that most learners never encounter in textbooks. I go through phases. I can't resist. I've been trying to cut back. I'm a creature of habit when it comes to food.
Today, all of those plus the vocabulary of mealtimes, food preferences, dietary habits, and the small personal stories that make food conversations genuinely interesting.
Let's eat.
First, the vocabulary of breakfast habits, because unlike lunch or dinner, breakfast is where people are most likely to have strong, consistent habits.
I usually have the most natural way to describe a consistent breakfast. I usually have toast and coffee. I usually have something quick, whatever's in the fridge. Simple, honest, yours.
I can't start the day without something essential to your morning. I can't start the day without coffee. It's not negotiable. The word negotiable is interesting here. It implies that you've tried going without it, and the answer was no.
I tend to skip breakfast, a habit of not eating in the morning. I tend to skip it on weekdays. I'm never hungry that early. Tend to skip is gentler than I don't eat breakfast, because it acknowledges it's habitual rather than absolute.
I make a proper breakfast on weekends, proper, deserving the name. A real, full, unhurried breakfast as opposed to a weekday grab and go. Proper breakfast is a meaningful distinction in British and Australian English especially.
I go through phases. Your eating habits change in cycles. I go through phases with porridge. Sometimes I eat it every day for a month. Then I don't touch it for 6 months. Phases suggests this isn't permanent. You'll cycle back.
I've been really into a current food enthusiasm. I've been really into overnight oats lately. I've been on a big smoothie kick, a period of intense interest in something. I'm on a granola kick at the moment.
I've been trying to eat better in the mornings. Better, vague but understood. I know I should eat a proper breakfast, but I've never managed to make it a habit. I know I should. Acknowledging knowledge of what's recommended while being honest that you don't do it.
And my personal favorite, I eat the same thing every day and I'm completely fine with that. Confident acceptance of a monotonous but satisfying habit, no apology needed.
Breakfast vocabulary by food type, because the specific words matter.
Toast, sliced bread browned in a toaster, a cornerstone of British breakfast culture. 2 slices of toast, toast with butter, standard toast with jam, popular toast with Marmite, an acquired taste as they say.
Marmite, a dark, intensely savory yeast extract spread. Very British, very divisive. Love it or hate it is literally the Marmite slogan. And a Marmite thing in English means something polarizing that people either larp or despise. He's a bit of a Marmite character. People either adore him or can't stand him.
Eggs, the most versatile breakfast food and the one with the most vocabulary. Scrambled eggs, beaten and cooked into soft curds. Fried eggs, cooked in oil or butter in a pan. Poached eggs, cooked in gently simmering water. Boiled eggs, cooked in the shell in boiling water, soft-boiled, the yolk still runny, hard-boiled, fully cooked through.
I like my eggs scrambled quite soft, still a little loose, not fully set. This level of specificity about eggs is completely normal in English conversation. How do you want your eggs? Is a genuine question that expects a genuine answer.
Cereal, cold breakfast grain, usually eaten with milk. A bowl of cereal. I grew up eating cereal for breakfast every morning. Granola, clusters of oats, nuts, and sweetener, often with dried fruit. Granola with yogurt. Porridge, cooked oats with milk or water, British staple. A bowl of porridge with a bit of honey.
Avocado toast. Sliced avocado on toasted bread, often with salt, chili flakes, and a poached egg associated with millennial food culture and a media discourse with expensive urban brunches. I know, avocado toast. Ha.
The cultural weight of avocado toast is real. In 2017, an Australian property developer suggested that young people couldn't afford houses because they were spending money on avocado toast. Stop buying avocado toast and save for a deposit is now shorthand for a certain generational argument. Avocado toast debate is understood across English-speaking countries.
Knowing the cultural reference makes you genuinely more fluent.
Exactly. Language and culture are inseparable. The full English breakfast, worth its own section.
The full English, also called a fry-up, is a substantial cooked breakfast consisting of several components, the standard: bacon, eggs, sausages, baked beans, grilled tomatoes, toast, sometimes, black pudding, mushrooms, hash browns.
A full English means all of those things. A fry-up is the casual term. A cooked breakfast is the general category. Are you doing a full English? Is an invitation that requires a respectful amount of morning commitment.
Baked beans, white beans in the tomato sauce served hot, an essential component of the full English that genuinely puzzles non-British people. Beans on toast is a standalone British comfort food. Beans on toast for breakfast, completely normal in the UK.
Black pudding, a sausage made with blood, fat, and grain, dark-colored, distinctive flavor. I love black pudding. I can't do black pudding. No middle ground, another Marmite situation.
In the US, the equivalent heavy breakfast would be pancakes and waffles, often with bacon and maple syrup. A stack of pancakes, a stack, a tower, a pile. Fluffy pancakes, light and thick American style, as opposed to the thin French crèche.
Drowning in maple syrup, drowning, covered completely, overwhelmed, said with enthusiasm, not distress. I like mine drowning in syrup. Guilty pleasure in spoken form.
And the Australian context. Hey-fay breakfast culture is enormous. Flat whites, sourdough toast, smashed avo, smashed avol, smashed avocado, the Australian version of avocado toast, slightly more rustic, usually on sourdough. Brekkie, the Australian casual word for breakfast. What are you having for brekkie? Dietary preferences and restrictions, because this is increasingly important vocabulary in English social situations.
I'm vegetarian. No meat. I'm vegan. No animal products. No meat, dairy, eggs. I'm plant-based. Similar to vegan but sometimes more flexible, focused on reducing rather than eliminating.
I'm gluten-free. Avoiding gluten, a protein found in wheat, may be for medical reasons, celiac disease, or personal preference, celiac, the British spelling, celiac, the American spelling. I have celiac disease, medically diagnosed. I avoid gluten, personal choice.
I'm lactose intolerant. Cannot comfortably digest lactose found in milk and dairy. I can't do dairy. Simple and widely understood, I'm dairy-free. Same thing, often chosen phrasing.
I don't eat red meat specific, rather than full vegetarianism. I eat fish, but not meat pescatarian, someone who eats fish but not other meat. I'm pescatarian. Is increasingly common and understood.
I'm trying to reduce my meat intake. Not eliminating, just reducing. I'm flexitarian. Flexitarian, someone who mostly eats vegetarian but occasionally eats meat, a real and increasingly common dietary identity.
These words matter because English social situations, dinner parties, restaurants, work lunches, frequently involve food choices being acknowledged and catered for. Knowing how to state your preference clearly and briefly makes these moments smooth.
And knowing how to respond graciously when someone else states theirs, of course, no problem at all. I should have asked earlier. I'll make sure there's something. Would it help to know the ingredients? All warm, considerate responses. Let me describe my breakfast life, honestly.
Go on.
Weekdays, I tend to keep it simple. 2 eggs scrambled, fairly soft with a piece of sourdough toast. Sometimes an avocado on the side if I have one that's ripe. Coffee always. I've tried adding things, the smoothies, the protein shake, the overnight oats in a jar. And I always come back to the same eggs and toast. I'm not even sure why I keep trying alternatives. I think it's the illusion that I'm someone who experiments.
Ha! The illusion that I'm someone who experiments. That's beautiful and very self-aware.
Weekends are different. Weekends are when I make something deliberate. Last Saturday, I made a full shakshuka, eggs poached in a spiced tomato sauce. It took 40 minutes and was completely worth it. I don't think weekend breakfast and weekday breakfast should be the same category at all.
I completely agree. Okay, mine. In Shanghai growing up, breakfast was never cereal. It was always something savory and warm. Sao, rice porridge, sheng jian bao, airy fried dumplings with soup inside, jigen bing, a kind of egg crepe. These are proper breakfasts. Substantial warming. The idea of cold cereal with cold milk in the morning is something I still don't quite understand.
Ha! The cold milk revelation.
These days, I'm somewhere between my Shanghai self and a Western morning. I usually have congee if I've made it the night before. It reheats beautifully, or eggs in some form, or sometimes nothing until 10 when I have my first coffee and something small. It depends on the day, on how hungry I feel, on whether I remembered to buy food.
On whether you remember to buy food, the most honest end to any breakfast description.
Always.
The language of food phases and preferences changing over time.
I used to eat, and then something very different from now. I used to eat instant noodles for breakfast in university every day. I have no idea how I survived.
I went through a period of strong focus on one food. I went through a phase of making smoothie bowls every morning. It lasted about 3 weeks.
I can't eat that anymore. Something your body or preferences have changed about. I can't do very sweet things in the morning anymore. I find it makes me crash by 10.
I've gotten really good at a skill developed through breakfast habit. I've gotten really good at making poached eggs. It took about 6 months of failures.
I never used to like, but now do. I never used to like porridge. I thought it was sad food. Now it's one of my favorite things in winter. Sad food, food without pleasure, eaten only out of necessity or obligation, a very expressive phrase.
It's an acquired taste, something you may not like immediately but grow to appreciate with exposure. Often said about Marmite, certain cheeses, bitter coffee, fermented foods, blue cheese is an acquired taste. Give it time.
And the social dimensions of food preferences. I can't resist a croissant. Can't resist. Have no willpower against. Chocolate croissants are my weakness. Weakness, the thing you cannot say no to. I have zero self-control around fresh bread.
I eat when I'm stressed. Eating as an emotional response. Completely normal and frequently discussed. I stress, eat stress eat. To eat in response to stress rather than hunger. Self-aware, slightly rueful.
I forget to eat when I'm busy, forgetting food, absorption in work or activity. I looked up, and it was 3 p.m. and I hadn't eaten anything. Very relatable to anyone who has ever had a deadline.
I want to add something about the social role of food in English conversation, because food isn't just fuel, it's one of the primary ways English speakers connect, reveal personality, and build relationships.
Yes, what do you like to eat, asked with genuine curiosity, is one of the fastest routes to understanding someone. Food preferences reveal so much. Adventurousness, nostalgia, identity, values.
I'm a massive foodie, someone who's very enthusiastic and knowledgeable about food, not a chef, just someone who genuinely cares about what they eat and where it comes from. I spend most of my travel budget on restaurants.
I'll try anything once. Openness to new food experiences, a phrase that signals culinary adventurousness and cultural curiosity. I'll try anything once. Well, almost anything.
I'm a creature of habit when it comes to food. Consistent, predictable food preferences, not a criticism, and honest self-description. I have about 6 dishes I rotate between, and I'm deeply happy with that.
Food is my love language. Love languages, a concept from relationship psychology about how different people express and receive affection. The 5 love languages include words of affirmation, acts of service, gift-giving, quality time, and physical touch. Applying food as a love language means I show I care by feeding people, cooking for someone as an act of love.
I cooked for them. That's how you know I really like them. The act of cooking as affection signal. She made me her grandmother's recipe. I knew then it was serious.
Ha! Cooking grandmother's recipe. Very serious indeed.
And the opposite, going out to eat as connection, let's grab food sometime, is one of the most common English social invitations. Food as the context for catching up, building relationships, celebrating.
We should get dinner soon, between friends means. I want to spend real time with you. The food is almost secondary to the sitting together.
Have you tried that new place? One of the most reliable small talk openers in English office culture. If you've been to a restaurant recently, you have something to talk about with almost anyone.
What did you have? The follow-up question that shows genuine interest. People love describing good meals. Give them the opportunity.
And the food memory, a story triggered by taste or smell. This reminds me of, my grandmother used to make something exactly like this. Food is time travel. Food as connection across distance.
My grandmother's Jayz will always be the most important food I know, not because it's technically the best I've ever eaten, because it tastes like her hands and her patience, and her kitchen on a winter afternoon.
That's a sentence worth writing down.
Ha! Well, it's true. Café and brunch vocabulary because so much of modern English-speaking breakfast culture happens outside the home.
Brunch, a late morning meal, combining breakfast and lunch, typically eaten between 10 and 2. Let's do brunch on Sunday, a social meal as much as a food category.
Are you a brunch person? A genuine question about lifestyle and preferences. I'm not really a brunch person. I prefer a proper lunch. Or, I love brunch. It's my favorite meal of the week.
Flat white, an espresso-based coffee with a small amount of textured milk, originated in Australia and New Zealand, now standard in UK coffee shops. A flat white, please. A mark of coffee sophistication.
Barista, a coffee professional who prepares espresso-based drinks. The barista at my local place makes extraordinary coffee. Your local, the place nearest to you that you go to regularly. My local cafe, my local pub.
The usual, please. Ordering without specifying because the staff already know your order, a sign of being a regulars. People who visit a place consistently and are known by staff.
I'm a regular there. They know my order. I don't even have to ask. These signal a relationship with the place. You've put in enough visits that you belong there a little.
A table for 2, please. Is it possible to get a table outside? We might have a wait. Is that okay? QK and restaurant social English, briefly.
Splitting the bill. Shall we split it? Or, I've got this. You can get the next one. Treating someone, paying for them. Let me get this. It's my turn. One more thing, the English of food and health, because so much contemporary English conversation around food involves health, nutrition, and the complicated relationship many people have with eating.
I'm trying to eat more mindfully. Mindfully, with conscious attention being present while eating rather than distracted. Mindfulness applied to food. I've stopped eating at my desk. I try to actually sit and eat now.
I'm watching what I eat, being aware of and controlling food intake. I'm cutting back on sugar, reducing. I'm trying to eat more whole foods, unprocessed or minimally processed foods, grains, vegetables, legumes.
I've been doing intermittent fasting, a pattern of eating only within a specific time window. I only eat between 12 and 8. Common and widely discussed in English-speaking health culture.
I try not to be too rigid about it. Rigid, inflexible, strict. I eat well most of the time, but I don't beat myself up about the exceptions. Beat yourself up. Be harshly self-critical. I don't believe in perfection when it comes to food.
That last phrase, I don't believe in perfection when it comes to food, is a very contemporary English statement. It signals a healthy relationship with eating, rejecting the all-or-nothing mentality.
Everything in moderation, a classic English saying about balance. You can eat anything, just not in excess. I eat everything, in moderation. Moderation, a middle amount, not too much or too little.
Life's too short to skip dessert. Another English sentiment about enjoying food without guilt, often said while ordering dessert, has justification or permission.
Ha! I say this every time.
As do I, for the record.
These phrases, whether you're talking about healthy habits or guilt-free enjoyment, give you the vocabulary to have honest, relatable conversations, and that conversation comes up constantly.
Because food is never just food. It's health and memory and culture and pleasure and identity all at once, and now you have the English for all of it. Lightning round. Food habit vocabulary.
Ready?
You eat the same breakfast every single day.
I eat the same thing every morning. eggs and toast, and I'm completely fine with that. I've stopped pretending I'm going to branch out.
You're currently very into one particular food.
I've been on a massive granola kick lately. I make my own on Sundays and it lasts all week.
Your diet has changed a lot from when you were younger.
I used to eat anything without thinking about it these days. I'm much more conscious. I've cut back on meat. I try to cook at home more. It's been a gradual shift.
You can't stop eating something unhealthy.
Croissants are completely my weakness. I have no self-control whatsoever. I know exactly how many calories are in one, and I eat it anyway.
You don't eat meat, but fish is fine.
I'm pescatarian. I've been for about 2 years now. I don't miss meat at all, but I couldn't give up fish.
Something that takes time to appreciate.
Good black coffee is an acquired taste. It took me years to drink it without sugar. Now I can't imagine it any other way.
Perfect. Every time.
Homework. Describe your breakfast in English, not just what you eat, but the full picture. Do you make time for it? Have you changed what you eat recently? Is there something you can't resist? Is there something you know you should eat, but don't?
Real, specific, honest, that's what we want. Not, I eat eggs. But I've been trying to make time for a proper breakfast on weekdays. Some mornings, I manage it. Others, I'm out the door with just coffee. I'm working on it.
That second version tells us so much more. That's the English of a real person, living a real life.
Tomorrow, episode 30, far. Getting around my city, commuting, transport, urban navigation. All with the deeper vocabulary of someone who actually lives there, not just passes through.
The difference between a tourist's English and a resident's English.
A really interesting distinction. Let's learn, speak, and grow together. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.